Yeah, I think Rory Stewart, though, he looks like Eddie Redmayne if somebody kicked his fucking head in. Do you have a club card? Do I look like I've got a club card?
It's not my loyalty card. I haven't got my
You
own.
have no loyalty.
I have no loyalty, as the person who has the card will tell you.
Back and grumpy as ever. Kev, you want to talk about COP29?
Yeah, let's kick off with COP29. It's almost as bad as COP28 and COP27 and all the other bloody COPs.
Except it's worse because it's in Baku.
Yeah, total waste of time. Always is. This year, more than ever. Looks like Keir Starmer, fresh from his triumph in Paris, the weirdest thing, as you quite rightly said, Mike, I've ever seen. Him and Macron standing in the back of a Jeep like sort of Nazis going through the capital.
Unbelievable.
Sort of like waving at soldiers. Look at that. I mean, these two... I mean, first of all, Keir Starmer on Armistice Day, what was he doing in France? He should have been in Britain. Anyway, he went directly from this absolute farce of a show all the way to Baku in Azerbaijan.
I mean, it's a weird decision to
It's very
ride
odd.
around in
I
that
always
Jeep
ask the
like
question,
that.
At what point did somebody not say, do you think they're sure about this?
Yeah.
Should we just look a bit weird?
Should we just maybe a nice car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But standing there.
Well, maybe stay in your own country for
Yeah, that
Armistice
would be an
Day.
option as
How
well.
about that?
Let's just take a look at this quickly to explain it to the good people.
Sir Keir Starmer set the goal out at COP29 in Azerbaijan, saying that the UK will pledge to reduce emissions by 81% compared with 1990 levels by the year 2035. He said a key part of the process will be Labour's promise to shift away from fossil fuels for electricity generation by 2030.
My God, that looks riveting.
It looks exciting, doesn't it? That won't happen, by the way. All pledges at COPs never come about.
No.
All all these nations, they're basically virtue signaling. They're pretending they're going to save the world, but actually they want to carry on negotiating to make money out of fossil fuels.
All of this is, why do we have to lead from the front on this?
Well-
if Britain dropped into the ocean tomorrow, I think it would affect the climate
It
by
won't make
less
any
than
difference
2%.
because we produce less than 1% of the world's carbon emissions. So anything we do is merely tokenistic. But in terms of this international conflab, this year at Baku, 400 private jets will be descending on that event. And what's interesting about Starmer being there this year, virtually no one else is there.
Right.
The leaders of Russia, India, Macron's not going, von der
They've all
Leyen...
ridden around in a Jeep.
Von der Leyen's not
But
going.
you know who is going? The Taliban.
Yeah.
The Taliban were
Yes.
there. I mean, I'm interested to know what their climate sort of policy is.
Well, I mean,
Because,
they've
I mean,
got
they've-
solid
they've-
climate
they're not-
credentials, just maybe not in the
They
right
don't
way.
let women drive. I mean,
No.
I suppose that's a plus.
Well, there's less people on the road.
For the climate.
But this, generally speaking, COP29 is just this massive festival of hypocrisy. A load of people paying lip service to saving the world when they don't care at all. And at this particular COP, the special sideshow is the Deputy Energy Minister of Azerbaijan, who's spent the last week negotiating fossil fuel deals with other countries. So, all these people there don't really care and they achieve nothing. They'll come out with some kind of pledge to, all the nations who attended are committed to making the world a greener place. Yeah, great. Yeah.
Also, there's a bit of a problem in Azerbaijan because they've been doing a bit of ethnic cleansing. You know, David Lammy picked up on this, didn't realise it was ethnic cleansing, congratulated them for taking back some of their own country. But they've locked up a load of people who
He's having a cracking time,
He's
David
doing
Lammy,
really well.
isn't he?
But also, they've locked a few sort of political prisoners up, people they don't agree with. They just get locked up. And so Starmer's quite happy to go to these places, hang out with the Taliban, even though he made it very clear, let me be clear, I'm not going to meet the Taliban. But he's in the same bloody organised conference with them.
I mean, they may meet,
Who's that over there?
meet for a martini at the bar.
You never know.
But the massive...
Alcohol-free, obviously.
The massive cloud that has been cast over this event is, of course, Donald Trump, who doesn't believe in what he calls the climate change hoax. So that has cast a shadow over crazy Ed Miliband and all these fanatics who go there. And the last thing to mention is that Azerbaijan is just about the most oil-based economy in the entire world. Apparently, there's so much oil there, it seeps out of the ground. So what a strange place to hold this
that'll
event.
fall in with Donald's drill,
Yeah,
won't
it
it?
will. Well, they're not supposed to have it. It was Dubai, wasn't it? So, I mean, they must be doing a tour of sort of oil-rich nations.
countries, yes. So, COP29's happening, and we've all copped a resentment.
We have, absolutely right. But the only good thing that we know will happen is that COP30 is coming up next year, and that'll be in Brazil.
Oh.
So maybe we should all go to that.
Yeah, I like the idea of going to that.
All of a sudden, it's got a bit more attractive. Now, customer satisfaction
Yes.
surveys,
Yes.
Mike.
Yeah, the plague of modern shopping. Regardless, I don't know whether you have this problem whenever you go into a shop and they go, "Can we have your email address?" To which I will say, no, because I know what you want it for. You're going to sell it to somebody, or you're going to start emailing me relentlessly with all sorts of rubbish that I don't want to read. And you'll also send me a satisfaction survey. How satisfied were you? How did you do? How did we do? And I just don't care. I mean, sometimes you get something, you say you've had a conversation with a bank or something, not very often, but, you get the satisfaction survey before they've done the thing you've asked them to do. How did we do?
Well, let's have a little look at an example of this.
Well, thank you for calling British Gas. And if that's everything, before I let you go, I just have to do a quick survey. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to recommend us to a friend?
Oh, I'd probably have to go with 1 very unlikely.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear you're not happy with the service.
I just can't imagine a situation we're at the pub watching the football and I go, sorry guys, can I just interrupt? You ever thought about switching energy providers?
That is very good.
Amazon, right?
Yeah.
So you get a few tea towels delivered or something, and then you get, how was the delivery? How was the service? And you know what it's based on? It's just the company. This is how they prove to their shareholders they're doing a good job.
Right.
So they go, look at these surveys. Everybody gave us 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
But haven't they worked out that a lot of these reviews, so-called reviews, are actually bogus?
Yeah.
And they were paying, some people were being paid to do a nice
Saying
review
you
of something.
don't trust Trustpilot.
I don't trust Trustpilot at all. And in fact, the other thing that annoys me about it is that if you ever do, because I mean, there's been moments where I suppose you're sitting on a train or something, you go, all right then, and you start and then about halfway through you go, the hell with this, I'm not finishing it,
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
exactly
Or you get
right.
right to the end and they go, we'll post this for you soon. And I'm like, no, I don't want you to post it. I don't want you to put my name out there to this. I just thought I was helping you out by saying, yeah, you did okay.
But when you get
Don't
those
put my name on it.
When on the odd time you do try to fill in these surveys, Mike's quite right. You say, all right then, yeah, all right. Yeah, it's all right, good. And then another thing, then another thing.
Right.
20 minutes later, it's like...
And then there's a box like, would you like to say anything else about yours? No, I wouldn't. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Extra comments.
Leave me alone.
Can I just say?
now, my son and his friends, when you get those random calls,
Yeah.
they take them and they like having the conversations with
That can be
these
fun.
people.
That can be fun, but only if you've got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Yes, which most of them don't.
No, exactly right.
What I would like to talk about is people who are under-informed and over-opinionated.
Oh, yes.
What used to be... No, but hold on a second. What used to be the... No, but they've given them more space because it used to be the 140-character
Yes,
expert. Now,
yes.
280.
Right.
I've got to listen to more of... They've read a paragraph on
Yeah.
something, and all of a sudden, they're the world's leading expert
Yeah.
on it. I mean, I have an old friend of mine who is brilliant at that.
Yeah.
He can read a paragraph on something and then hold a conversation about it for about 2 hours.
Yes.
We maybe get him
I mean,
on the show.
I like to think that I can argue any point with anyone, and often do, just for the hell of
Sometimes
it.
without a point.
Just for the hell of it,
We
yeah.
can confirm that.
Yeah,
Yeah. You've made a career out of it.
I have.
Did you see Rory Stewart talking about...
No, my God.
I try
so
not
last
to.
week he goes...
If he's on, I close my eyes.
Kamala Harris will win the
Yeah, there's no
election
doubt about it.
comfortably
No
for
doubt.
the following reasons. So we're recording this on... this is a week later, as it were. Obviously, he was catastrophically wrong about that. And then said, well, the reason is I don't want to be wrong if I'm pessimistic.
Right.
Shut up.
Yeah, he said he got it wrong because he was an optimist,
Yeah.
which is a new one on me.
Yeah, well,
Did he manage to squeeze all of that into 280 characters?
No,
yeah,
but
he
he
did,
did
but
it on a
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
well,
he did on
With the
Twitter.
Master of Truth,
No, but he
Alistair
got-
Campbell.
He got his camera endorsement onto Twitter. Anyway, we're recording this on the day that Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, has quite rightly resigned, having refrigerated news of a terrible paedophile that he knew about for 10 years.
didn't see
Absolute
nothing.
disgrace. Anyway, guess what Rory Stewart has posted on Twitter, or X, or whatever you call it. They said, so sorry to hear Justin Welby has stepped down. I always found him to be an open, honest and decent man. He should have continued. I mean, it's like, Christ.
Has he got anything right?
Yeah. Do you get anything right?
He's not reading the room particularly.
He's not.
Is he?
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
It's because he's in a room on his own,
I think it's
waiting
just-
for Alistair Campbell
Yeah.
to come up on
I
his
think
screen
it's
and
because
talk
he
to him.
spent a lot of time on his own.
Yeah.
Because he did tell us, did he not, that he spent ages and ages wandering the plains of Afghanistan.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Nothing but
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
big bag of Afghan black.
Yeah.
So
I think he did his head in.
I
Yeah.
think he did his head in.
Yeah. I think Rory Stewart though, he looks like Eddie Redmayne if somebody kicked his fucking head in.
Wow.
About right. He's got the teeth, isn't he?
Well, do we now call him the Jackal? Because that's Eddie Redmayne's new.
Yes.
That's
does
Eddie
look a bit
Redmayne's
like
new
a jackal.
show.
The
isn't it?
poor man's Jackal.
The poor man's Jackal.
Hound shop jackal.
He's got a gun. He's just not a very good shot with it. Keeps missing the mark.
He's a useless assassin. Misses every time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got Eddie Redmayne, the Jackal, or we've got him, the Jackal.
Right.
He won't hit a barn door at 50 paces.
Unbelievable.
Kev?
Yeah.
I know this is a
teeth.
sensitive subject for you personally.
Yep.
Teeth.
Yeah, it's teeth. There's a reason for this. Viewers who talk will realise. I've had so much dental work now, it's just getting ridiculous.
You
And
can't tell, Kev.
3 weeks ago, I fell over, it's flat on my face, damaged a veneer, got a temporary.
shouldn't
Cut a
laugh.
long story short, I'm with Jeremy Kyle on air yesterday, and it fell out live on air.
Can we? I think we can see this.
I just tweeted the good news. He's finally confirmed. That's my tooth. Kev's tooth has just come out.
Jeremy's face is brilliant.
He's finally confirmed.
Hey!
See, I like the violin.
It was Denny's idea, but
Yeah, so there you have it in gory detail. And so here's the thing, though.
So you've been back to the dentist
yeah,
again?
I'm waiting to get. Yeah,
How many times have
I've
you
been
been
back
now?
today to get it stuck back in. I'm waiting for the permanent one. But here's the thing, right? This is teeth.
You're going to go gold. I think
No,
you should
I'm
go
not
gold.
going
Get a
gold.
full grin.
Don't get one of those
in,
ones
Kev.
with a
Mike
sort of a
Tyson
pattern on it
style.
or something.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, so because of this veneer, I had to start like eating food right at the back of my mouth.
Hamster-like.
And guess what? Filling came out. So I've just had to have that done as well. So once your teeth start falling apart at the seams, as mine have been now for probably 30 years, it's a domino effect.
It's part of life's general
Yeah.
demise,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Your teeth
Yeah.
start to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've noticed that it doesn't matter how much I clean my teeth now, I every so often have to go and get them cleaned professionally.
I get them cleaned every 3 months.
But don't do it yourself in between?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, shit.
Yeah. I mean, if there was a way of not doing it, obviously I would do that as well. If I have somebody to come and clean my teeth once a week.
The thing about getting a bit older is, like, so your teeth will go, and you'll sort those because people can
Yeah,
see those.
right.
But there could be other stuff going
Yeah.
that you're not mentioning.
No, of course.
But that's why I try to remain vigilant with my teeth, to give the impression that somehow or other I'm healthy and in top shape. But that's not true.
Is there anything else?
Some people are pretty
Kev,
astonished that you're even alive at this point.
Me included, me
Considering what
included.
you and I did in the past.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Seeing as we are in a sort of sharing mood, is there anything else that's not working?
Well, let's have a look down. No, everything else is absolutely fine, I do believe.
So you still spring out of bed in the morning like a gazelle?
Well,
That's how he fell over the last
exactly. I
time.
sprung out of bed at 6 in the morning, fell over a pair of shoes and knocked myself out. And the rest is a very expensive history.
Between your computers and your teeth, Kev, there's quite
There's a
lot
whole
of-
show here.
Yeah, there's a whole show,
Yeah.
isn't there?
We can just
Kev's
alternate.
crap life.
Yeah, it all
I mean, is there
started.
enough- I mean, I know
it all
we-
started with the X not working.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like a domino effect, as he says.
Exactly right.
Without wishing to seek any more pain, is there any update on the laptop scenario?
The laptop remains dormant. I've got to make an appointment with Apple,
And
and,
I
I'm told they might replace it. I mean,
Mike,
Yeah.
you're a man who enjoys a restaurant.
I do.
You are a man who enjoys his food,
Yes,
but there is something that upsets you greatly.
there is.
Tell us.
And it's a relatively minor thing, but it's come back. It was a thing sort of in the late 90s and which started to creep in. I first saw it actually in New York when I lived there in the 80s, when they were very pretentious about the restaurant. And if you wanted to get a table any time when people actually had dinner, it was always difficult. You know, you call up these restaurants. I remember calling up the Tribeca Grill when it first opened, because I had to go and try and review it for the Sunday Times. And they were like, we can give you 6 or 10.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know who I was. And I was like, well, can't I come at like 7:30? No, sorry, no chance. And so you could only ever book these places at 6 or 10. Now, then they started doing this thing where they go, well, you can come at 7, but you need to give up the table at 8:30.
Yeah.
Right? And they've started doing it now again here in London. I was in a place just the other day.
It's big time in London.
And they put it on, they put it on the actual reservation when you make it. You know, it's a 90-minute booking. And I find that appalling because apart from anything else, I never know whether I want to stay long. I might not want to stay longer, but if I do...
They're misjudging how many bottles of rosé
they
you might
absolutely are.
order.
They're losing
to
money.
be honest, the longer I stay... It's a very finite sine curve, actually, because if you keep me too long, there might be a problem. But if you let me stay for 2 or 3 bottles, you know, you'll benefit.
Well, I mean, will they want you to vacate your table at 90 minutes?
Yes.
As you're ordering the 4th bottle?
Well, do you know, you'll know this because you're in the restaurant business, but I mean, it's only actually ever happened to me once where they've actually asked me to leave the table.
Was it to do with they needed the table back, or they were just asking
very
you
crowded.
to leave?
It was a West End restaurant just off of Regent Street years and years ago, and it was one of these new buzzy kind of places, and there was a group of about 6 of us, and they made us go and sit at the bar because we then demanded that they give us free dessert on the basis that they were moving us, and so we sat at the bar and had dessert. All 6 of us.
Have you done much of, and I have in the past at various restaurants, Joe Allen and the Ivy quite often in the good old days, in our newspaper days, of going for lunch.
And then having dinner
lunch
as well.
carries on and
Yes.
on and on. So around about 7 o'clock you start ordering dinner. So you stay in the restaurant from lunch until about midnight, and then you get the astronomical bill.
Those days have gone.
I know they have, and
People
it's sad.
But I think, in part, if I may defend my industry just for a moment, I mean, not that would ever happen to you in a home sliced pizza restaurant, let's be very clear.
Right.
And stay as long as you like, as long as you keep eating. The problem that a lot of restaurants have now, and the reason this has crept back in, is they're not open 7 days a week.
Right.
Because they can't get the staff
Right.
to open
Right.
7 days
So
a
they're
week.
trying to
they
cram everybody
it in. It's the same thing now if you look at, we've got this rash of 5-star plus hotels
Yes.
opening all over
Crazy
London,
money.
right? Crazy money. The reason they're crazy money is they don't actually... They have mothballed the cheaper rooms because it's not worth it with the size of the housekeeping staff to actually open those 500 quid a night rooms. They don't make enough money on it.
They consider that a cheap night. 500 quid.
500
Which is also extraordinary.
Well, I mean, if you look at any of the sort of big West End sort of stalwarts, whether it's Claridge's, whether it's
there's this new one, isn't there?
the Ritz,
There's loads of them. But let me ask you this as an expert in the trade. Why is it that you get these great restaurateurs, great restaurants, and then they do a version in a big 5-star hotel, and they're never very good? Why are restaurants never very good in hotels?
because the hotel chain pays them a fortune for their name.
And that's
That's it.
Yeah.
So that's why, if you go to somewhere like Dubai, you see there's all the big names in Dubai. They're not there.
No, Tom Kerridge has got a place, hasn't he, in the Corinthia Hotel, I think.
Yes, that's actually quite good.
Which actually is not bad.
No, Kerridge's Bar and Grill at the
Yes.
Corinthia.
I like
that.
the vertical barbecue.
And it's big enough
Yeah.
that maybe they wouldn't ask you for your table back.
So
Yes.
I got that thing when Gordon Ramsay was doing the Savoy, and that you get the sort of pod in the middle of the kitchen, watching them all making the food. And we all sort of sat there, and this was like the really special table to get, and we were going, can we get back in the fucking restaurant? I don't want to see these people washing up and moving saucepans around.
I mean, obviously, this kind of level of dining is not necessarily relatable to the people at home, but you can come for a relatable meal at home sliced pizza, where it's very
course.
reasonable.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, this is my point. This is not necessarily in very expensive. I don't always go to very expensive restaurants. These are sort of what you would call average price restaurants, but they're all starting to do it, which is worrying.
Well, because they need the money.
Yeah,
It's a difficult time.
Yeah, it is.
Now, touching slightly on what you touched on before, right? This thing now where we find ourselves in a hybrid world where we were forced a couple of years ago to stay at home and order
Yes.
everything online.
Right.
And you had to give all your bloody details to enable that to get delivered. I mean, obviously, you needed to give it your address to get
Yes.
it delivered, otherwise it could end up anywhere.
As it sometimes
But
does
then,
anyway.
you know, but then, you know,
different than you get.
it's like inside leg measurement, shoe
Yeah.
size, you know, the whole thing's like, I'm buying dishcloths.
Right.
You know, the amount of information that you have to divulge now to enable yourself to
Right.
buy something.
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Hi. Hi. Ready to check out? Yes, I am. Please don't ask any questions. Do you have our loyalty card? A loyalty card? No, I don't. Would you like to get one? If you become a member, you have access to weekly deals, discounts, and special coupons for you. All you need to do is just to fill out this application and give me a phone number. Sorry, my English is not good.
So this is what
Yes.
I mean. It's seeped
That is
into the
annoying. That is
real
annoying.
world.
Yes.
It is seeped into the real. So you go up to the counter. All you want to do is buy the thing.
Yeah.
You spent however long in there. You don't want to hang around at
No.
the till, filling out. Oh well, I'll get my club card or my loyalty
Right.
card.
You know, I always-
and it's like, would you like a receipt or would you like us to email it? It's like, no, just give me
Yeah,
the
I'll take the
paper
receipt,
receipt. I
yeah.
don't want you
know, I
to
always
have
say
my
to them,
email
They
address.
go to so I sort of stand. They go to one of the supermarkets, buy a few things, and then the checkout girl will go, "Do you have a club card?" And I'll go, "Do I look like I've got a club card?" they always go, "No."
No, Kev
Don't ask
definitely
me.
doesn't have a club card. So I have asked, you know, as things have got more expensive, I asked my wife, I was
Yeah.
like, you know, should we get a loyalty card
Yes.
for the supermarket? She went, no, they're a waste of time.
I don't even know what
You've
they
got to
do.
spend. Well,
What- what's
Well,
it
they,
do?
well, they have actually got cleverer. They
What is
didn't-
it that
they
they
used
do?
to give you points, right? So that was the point. You would collect the points, and then you would get vouchers, and you would go there and spend the vouchers. And sometimes, when we had
So you
young
get free
kids,
stuff, in other
you used to get like vouchers, money off Pizza Express. Sorry to mention Arrival, which the kids used
Really
to like
good.
going
Love
to.
that place.
We didn't know about your place in those days. Anyway, but now they've actually taken to doing something rather clever. And what it is they now discount the stuff you're buying if you have the card. So I was just at the weekend doing a bit of shopping, and because there's a Nectar card involved, so that doesn't tell you exactly where it was. But I got a bottle of Baileys for £10, which is normally £21.95.
Which you have for breakfast on your cornflakes.
Well, I just got it because it's near
Milk
Christmas.
alternative.
I never buy Baileys, generally speaking. But one, it was for £10, and two, it's nearly Christmas, and you always drink a bottle of Baileys.
So you saying
you're
that
enticed by
hold
the
on
offer.
a second. Is Mike Graham saying that it's worth becoming
that is
a
a good
loyalty
deal.
card member? Is this what
Yeah,
you're saying?
I'm saying now it is, because now they're actually knocking price. So when you get to the counter, and instead of the bill being £120, it gets knocks about 30 quid
Hold on a
off.
second. I don't know, Kev, are you all right? I feel a bit weird. It's like Mike's found something he likes. I feel a bit. I
don't really like
I think I
it.
just
Also-
threw up in my own
Can
mouth.
I
tempted by
just say
this.
it's not my loyalty card, okay? I haven't got my
have
own.
no loyalty.
I have no loyalty, as the person who has the card will tell you.
I will be getting the lovely Mrs. Wogan to get as many loyalty cards
Yes.
as she possibly can.
And get your Baileys in while it's
Get your
while it's
Baileys
hot.
in while they're cheap. Happy Christmas, everybody. That's all for this week. Mr. O'Sullivan and Mr. Graham, as ever, proving that Grumpy can come to a point of resolution.